Let us discuss in detail of necrosis. What is necrosis and what are the conditions which results in necrosis? Let us discuss that conditions here. Now, let us consider a normal cell. This is a normal cell in which if there is any injury, which takes place to the cell and it results in adaptations. This is adapted cell. And if there is more injury, if the injury is more and severe, then this injured cell will undergo cell death. It undergoes cell death, and this cell death may be by two forms, that is either it follows necrosis or apoptosis. Necrosis, it is completely pathological, but this apoptosis is, it may be pathological or it may be physiological. And if we discuss about what is the definition of necrosis, necrosis is the series of morphological changes which takes place in lethally injured cell. A series of morphological changes which takes place in lethally injured cell. What is lethally injured cell? Lethally injured cell is nothing but irreversibly damaged cell is called lethally injured cell. By the definition, series of morphological changes which takes place in lethally injured cell is called necrosis. Now, let us consider a cell. This is a cell, and if there is any adaptations, it results in adaptations, and generally it undergoes simultaneous morphological steps and results in death of the cell. Now, the events which takes place from this normal form of cell, that is healthy cell, to the death cell, the steps which are involved in between is called necrosis. This is necrosis. The series of morphological changes which takes place in the lethally injured cell is called necrosis. And what are the conditions which are arising or which are resulting to the necrosis? Let us consider a cell, or let us consider glucose molecule. This glucose molecules undergoes glycolysis and will form pyruvic acid. Glucose will form pyruvic acid. Now, this pyruvic acid will undergo cyclic events and will enter the TCA cycle with the help of carbon dioxide. This pyruvic acid with help of carbon dioxide will participate in TCA cycle. But if there is any abnormalities in pyruvic acid and it fails to enter into the TCA cycle, then the pyruvic acid will get converted into lactic acid inside the cell. Now, the lactic acid concentration inside the cell will get increased, and if there is lactic acid concentration will be increased, ultimately inside the cell the acidic concentration will get increased. If there is increase in acidic concentration, ultimately there will be denaturation of proteins. If there is denaturation of proteins, ultimately will result in necrosis. Now, if we discuss what are the conditions which results in necrosis is, that is first one, intracellular protein denaturation. Intracellular protein denaturation. Intracellular protein denaturation is one of the cause of necrosis, and as we know that, let us consider this is the case. This is lethally injured cell, and this lethally injured cell consists of enzymes in it, and here let us consider one pathogen or one, this is macrophage, will engulf this, it will engulf this viral, it will engulf this injected cell, that is lethally injured cell, and will decrease or will kill this, and will result in the killing of this lethally injured cell, and this happens because of the enzymes. And next cause is enzymatic digestion. Second cause which results in necrosis is enzymatic digestion. Now inside the enzymatic digestion, let us consider these are the lysosomes, and at further steps these lysosomes will get busted, and the content of lysosomes will get expelled out, will be flowed out, and ultimately results in death of the cell. If the enzymatic digestion which takes place from the enzymes of its own cell, it is called autolysis. And if the death occurs because of enzymatic digestion of the enzymes which are came from outside of the cells, it is called heterolysis. This is autolysis and this is heterolysis. This is some basic information of necrosis. And now let us consider a case let us consider a patient who is suffering from necrosis had died within 1 hour or 2 hours. Then if we take or if we examine any test of this necrosis, then there will be no morphological changes of necrosis can be seen in that died patient, but we can examine that there is presence of necrosis in that patient. Now let us consider one example. Let us consider this is our heart. And this is our myocardium, and this is a blood vessel through which it is supplying blood through the myocardium. If there is any blockage in this myocardium, if there is any blockage in the blood vessel which is carrying the blood to this myocardium, then it results in ischemia. There is flow of the blood will get decreased to the myocardium, and if there is flow of blood decreased to the myocardium, then this small piece of myocardium will get damaged. This small piece of myocardium will get damaged, and if, let us consider, if a patient was died within 1 or 2 hours, let us consider the patient died for between 3 hours, then there will be no evidence of morphological changes of necrosis. No morphological changes. There will be no morphological changes of necrosis in a patient who is died between 1 to 3 hours. And if a patient is alive, then a small part of myocardium is get damaged, then if a patient is alive, now there will be series of inflammations which takes place around this area. Inflammation will get takes place in this area with the help of neutrophils or macrophages. Then within 1 to 2 weeks, this damaged part of myocardium will get converted to normal part of myocardium. Now, in case of live patient, it undergoes inflammations. And will convert this damaged cell into normal cell. And as we know that by the definition, what is necrosis means, before discussing about that, okay, let us discuss the process of necrosis. By the definition, the series of morphological changes which takes place in the necrosis in lethally injured cell is called necrosis, and this necrosis includes cellular cytoplasmic degeneration and nuclear degeneration. First, let us discuss what are the concepts of cytoplasmic degeneration. In case of necrosis, let us consider one cell. This is one cell in which this is the nucleus of cell. This is the nucleus of cell, and it consists of cytoplasm. This is cytoplasm inside the cell, and it includes glycogen granules. These blue color structures are glycogen granules, which is storage form of food, and it also includes cell organelles like mitochondria and Golgi apparatus. This is a normal cell in which the cytoplasm will bind with eosin. Let us consider the first step which takes place in necrosis is there will be dissolution of eosins with the cytoplasm. Then the cytoplasm will become reddish in color, that is eosinophilic in condition. This is outer side of this outer cell membrane, and this is a nucleus, and it becomes more eosinophilic. In which the glycogen granules are also digested into the cytoplasm, it becomes more eosinophilic. It becomes more eosinophilic. That is first step in which the glycogen granules will get separated or will get digested, and the ribosomes also will get digested, and results in cytoplasm will get converted into eosinophilic condition. And in second step, and it also includes cell organelles. These green color structures are cell organelles, and in second step, step number 2, the cell organelles will also get digested and results in formation of pocket-like structures. And there will be absorption or there will be degeneration of cell organelles, in which it forms a special place like this. And this is second step. And next step, in third step, all the contents of cytoplasm will get digested, and there will be remaining of only outer membrane. That is, outer membrane only will be remain. That is thick membrane. Thick membrane is only remain. Now this thick membrane is called myelin fibers. This thick membrane is called myelin fibers. This myelin fibers, whenever it is formed, it is engulfed by macrophages. Let us consider these are the macrophages, and it is engulfed by macrophages and results in death of this myelin fibers. This is event of cyclic it is in events of cytoplasmic content degeneration. And next content is nucleus degeneration. Let us consider this is nucleus. Now this nucleus will undergo three different types of degenerations, in which first one, let us consider that this is the nucleus. This nucleus will be faded away. It becomes faded away and will result in death of the nucleus. This process is called karyolysis. This process is called karyolysis. And second type of death of nucleus is, let us consider this is a nucleus in which it contains chromatin material and it gets condensed to and it results in death of the cell. Now death of nucleus by condensation is called pycnosis. And third type of degeneration of nucleus is, let us consider this is a nucleus in which contains chromatin material, and first of all it gets faded away and it results in fragmentation. It results in fragmentation of nucleus. This process is called karyorrhexis. First one is karyolysis, second one is pycnosis, and third one is karyorrhexis. This is, in this way, the cell, necrotic cell will get degenerated, and this is pathway of necrosis. That is, first one is cytoplasmic degeneration. This is cytoplasmic degeneration, and this is nuclear degeneration. This is cytoplasmic degeneration and this is nuclear degeneration. These are the events which takes place in necrosis. And if we discuss about the types of necrosis, these are two types of necrosis. There are two different types of necrosis are existing. That is, first one is coagulative necrosis. Coagulative necrosis. What is coagulative necrosis? In case of coagulative necrosis, as we know that in case of enzymes, it consists of proteins. There are two different types of proteins, that is structural proteins and functional proteins. That are structural proteins and functional proteins. These functional proteins are also called enzymes. These functional proteins are also called enzymes. And in coagulative necrosis, what is coagulative necrosis means? In case of coagulative necrosis, there is simultaneous degeneration of structural proteins and functional proteins. If there is functional proteins are denatured, then the enzymes will get denatured. Ultimately, whenever the enzymes will get denatured, there will be no enzymatic digestion. Ultimately, if there is no enzymatic digestion takes place, then the outline of the necrotic cell will be alive for 2 to 3 weeks. That is, the outline of the cell will be present. Let's consider this is one cell, this is another cell, and this is another cell. Let us consider these are the 4 different types of necrotic cells, in which outermost layer is not degenerated. Now, whenever this outermost layer is present and it remains for 3 to 4 weeks, now around this the inflammation process will be taking place and neutrophils will get attacked here. It is attacked by neutrophils, and along with neutrophils, macrophages are also attacked here. It is surrounded by neutrophils and macrophages, and will result in production of chemical mediators. We produce the chemical mediators. With the help of chemical mediators like interleukin and cytokines, etc., this outermost layer of the cell in coagulative necrosis will get damaged. This is coagulative necrosis with the help of neutrophils or macrophages. This is one type of necrosis, that is coagulative necrosis. And next type is liquefatic necrosis. Liquefatic necrosis. In case of liquefatic necrosis, only the structural proteins are get denatured. Only structural proteins will get denatured, whereas functional proteins will not get denatured. If there is no denatured of functional protein, then the enzymes will be action form. It will be activated and results in enzymatic digestion. If there is enzymatic digestion, the same process will be taking place. Example for coagulative necrosis is myocardial infarction, and example for lymphatic necrosis is pus formation. And let us consider the cells. These are the necrotic cells. And whenever these necrotic cells are exposed, and neutrophils will get attracted to these sites, and neutrophils will get attached here. Whenever the neutrophils are attracted, and now these neutrophils will produce special type of agent which will attract the macrophages towards it. Now the macrophages are arranged to this condition, to this area, with the help of chemical mediators. It will kill this necrotic cells. This is also lymphatic necrosis. The main difference between coagulative necrosis and lymphatic necrosis is, in coagulative necrosis, the functional proteins or enzymes will get denatured simultaneously along with structural proteins, whereas in lymphatic necrosis, the functional proteins cannot get denatured simultaneously along with structural proteins. In coagulative necrosis, if because of simultaneous degeneration of functional proteins, there will be no enzymatic digestion. Ultimately, only the cytoplasmic content will be get digested, and the outermost layer will be remained as usual for 3 to 4 weeks. Now, whenever these are remain, it will attract the neutrophils. Whenever neutrophils are attracted towards it, it releases special types of enzymes, and that enzymes will attract the macrophages. Now these macrophages along with neutrophils will release the chemical mediators. With the help of chemical mediators, it will kill these necrotic cells. That is in case of coagulative necrosis. In lymphatic necrosis, as there is enzymes are not digested, enzymes will be activated form, and there will be enzymatic digestion. And then how this enzymatic digestion will take place? It also takes place with neutrophils and macrophages. This is about coagulative necrosis and lymphatic necrosis. And if we come back here, that is process of necrosis in one cell. That is, let us consider this is one cell, and it includes cytoplasmic degeneration and nuclear degeneration. In case of cytoplasmic degeneration, the first step is the cytoplasm. Inside the cytoplasm, ribosomes are present and glycogen granules are present. In first step, the ribosomes will get denatured and glycogen granules are also get digested. As a result, the cytoplasm will get converted into eosinophilic condition, in which it is red in color. And in second step, the cell organelles will also get digested and will be formation of moth-eaten. These pockets are called moth-eaten pockets. Moth-eaten pockets. Now after this moth-eaten pockets, there is only remaining of outermost layer, that is cell membrane, or the outermost layer, that is cell membrane is remained. The cluster of all the cell membranes, this is one cell membrane and this is another cell membrane. This cluster of all the cell membranes is called myelin fibers. Now this myelin fibers is eaten by macrophages or neutrophils. This is cytoplasmic degeneration, and nucleus degeneration will be of 3 types. First condition is the nucleus will be faded away and results in death of nucleus. That is first type, that is karyolysis. And second type is the nucleus will undergo condensation process and results in death of the cell, that is hypnosis. And third one, the nucleus will be condensed and will be faded away, that is cariolysis. In this way necrosis process will be taking place.